ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on, we thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin. So it said recording started on the screen. So I'm going to say, welcome, Angry Faithful. This is Nerd Sports episode 117. I'm going to hand the reins back over to David so that way he can properly introduce the show and get it kicked off.
Are we sure it's 17 this time?
Yes, we are.
We're sure. We're back on track
correctly and everything. Yeah, he texted me afterwards and he's like, "Shit." I was like, I knew
with our stellar production quality.
I was like, I knew it.
Well, I'll keep this in because I'm nice like that, and I'm not gonna. But we'll head it up.
Things started going right on this show. That we wouldn't have any listeners.
It's the raw, unfiltered slice of life that are our listeners.
Yeah,
get a little PTS every once in a while.
I'll go. This is the actual beginning. Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on episode 117. I almost fucked that up again. We're going to talk about timber sport. No, it's 113.
Oh my god!
After Johnny said 117, I just wanted to make him wrong. It ended up making me wrong.
Stop living in the past, Dave.
I'm telling you. Anyway, timber sports. Have you seen timber sports?
Live in the now.
Yeah. Have you seen timber sports? It's where they do like lumberjack shit.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, that used to be on the Deuce, man.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised the number of toes some of those guys are missing.
No, I wouldn't be surprised, dude. I've seen that when they actually got better safety stuff because they had like steel shin guards and feet guards,
right?
For when they're like doing when they're sitting on the log and they're chopping it in half.
Yeah, to give you that extra split second of reaction time.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, like I they had a thing on. You remember the original Modern Marvels that used to be on the History Channel?
Oh hell yeah!
Well, they had one about lumberjacks, right? And they were talking about these lumberjack athletes, and we're talking. They use like some of them have like stainless steel, or some of them have like titanium axes, and they are laser sharpened. We're talking sharper than a scalpel.
Yeah.
And like the hot saws that these guys use, man, they're like 3 foot bars, or in some cases a 4-foot bar. And I mean, they've got these chainsaws that are like fully blown, supercharged.
Tim the Tool Man tailored out,
and they run top fuel alcohol in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm like, you get like 1 tree to the gallon kind of a thing, and it's done.
That. But yeah, I've been watching that here lately. I guess the timber sports are up and going again.
And that stuff was always fun to watch. One of my favorite events is, you had the pole that they had to top,
Yeah.
Like they chop and then they stick a like a plank or something in there, and they use that to stand on, and then they use it to build a ladder with. Then they get up to the top, and they have to fell the top of this pole that they were on.
Yep.
I'm like, that is just insane. But hey, can we pause for just a second? Actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to mute myself. You guys keep talking.
Okay. So yeah, I don't have a conversation now. You know what's really sad though? A friend of mine's been wanting me to deep dive Red Shoes. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, I
Conspiracy
have.
theory?
Unfortunately,
Man, some of the weird stuff that people go in and get conspiracy theories and everything with, like, it's not literally a conspiracy theory if the theories showed right. With like the one we did last, I haven't published, was the Sound of Freedom thing where everybody's going to the theaters and they're not showing the movie, or
yeah,
AC breaks down,
yeah,
all kinds of stuff.
yeah. That one, I mean, it's well documented. We've had a lot of stuff come through on there, but
Yeah.
no,
But the
that
Red Shoe thing,
in order to keep any part of my soul, I try to stay away from getting too deep into that, like the Red Shoe stuff like that. Like that's some heinous next level evil shit there.
yeah. And if that's actually happening and no one's doing anything
If
about
even
it,
half of it is happening.
yeah. Not even half, just 1/4 of it. Fuck. Just
Yeah. That's evil on a level that you almost can't even fathom.
yeah. Well, there's this new document he's been sending me called the Adam and Eve story. Have you heard anything about that too?
No, I haven't heard about that. No.
I had him trying to describe it to me. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's some kind of document that was classified about some study. And let me see here. See if I can get a synopsis. No. It's talking about the next cataclysm.
Cataclysm.
Yeah. That's supposed to happen.
Sorry, guys. That was some much awaited news that we were waiting on. My father-in-law got a decision as far as his next teaching job. So he's going to be teaching in the Terrell School District next year. So this coming year. So yes. Thank you for reminding me, David. I've got to pull up my sound pads here. Hold on.
Oh God.
What have you done?
That is a real applause, sir.
God damn it! What did I do?
Anyway,
I have to 1 sec. I have to apologize to the audience for doing that accidentally. Is showing off that Johnny has a soundboard too now, to where he can press buttons, and Johnny likes to press buttons.
He is very good at pushing buttons. Yes.
Yeah, especially the ones that don't touch that. What this one? What?
Which are the big red one that says "Do not touch"?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
yeah. The big red one where you push it and it's like
Big boom.
ooh, and that one was in stereo. It goes from left to right. That was kind of cool.
I didn't hear that actually. Anyways, sports news. I forgot we're a sports show.
Yeah, this is a sports show.
It is a sports show.
Oh, I did.
Baseball.
Hold on. NFL news. I just found this out. Whenever the Green Bay Packers lose a match, it's like 40% extra domestic violence. And if it's a home game, it's like 60. I just found that out.
Okay, see, David, if you're going to bring up news out of order, you want to make sure that you're sounding relevant enough by using the correct terminology. They don't have matches in the NFL, they have games. So when the Packers have a road loss, their domestic violence count or percentage in the Green Bay area or amongst their fan base is 20% lower than it is if it's a home loss. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, it's more.
It's more? Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
domestic violence is more.
That's what okay. Their road losses are less than their home losses. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right. Boy, let's have a game of American football. Let's settle this on the pitch, fellas. Like, come on, dude. Anyways.
Fancy a match.
Jackass. Anyways. All right. So, all right. So for the longest time during the course of the season, we had the Tampa Bay Rays. They were kind of running away with the best record in the league, in the majors. Coming out of the All-Star break, certain individuals' bats started to come alive, like Rafael Devers, third baseman for the Red Sox. And it, but Tampa Bay, they're playing Texas right now, and they've lost their last 2 games, right?
Really?
Including a very embarrassing walk-off wild pitch. Like the Rangers had the go-ahead run on third, and the Tampa Bay pitcher throws a wild pitch. Runner comes home, scores, game's over, right? It's one of those type situations.
Yeah.
All right. Well, right now the Tampa Bay Rays have a 60-37 record, which is a .619 winning percentage.
Yeah.
To find a record that is better than that, you have to go all the way to the National League and the NL East leading Atlanta Braves with a 61-31 record. That is a .663 winning percentage. Now, granted, the Braves have lost their last 2 also, but there's a lot of people now that are talking about the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Orioles. They are the hottest teams in baseball right now. The Dodgers are one of the hottest teams in baseball. They've won 8 out of their last 10 games. I have made it no secret that, that this year is just not the Red Sox year. I've made that perfectly clear. Everybody knows that, right?
Yes.
I mean, that one episode.
I also have made it clear that I don't really care where the Red Sox finish, just as long as the Yankees finish behind them. Well, as of today, going into today's action, the Red Sox are not in last place in the American League East. The New York Yankees are by a full game.
I was going to say it's a full game ahead too.
Oh, yeah. Life is good. I mean, it's not, hey, we're winning our division. We've got the best record in the league. It's not none of that. But it's the universe is in balance.
What's crazy is they're only 5 games off from the Rangers.
Yeah, but here's
the Rangers are leading their division. And
right. But as far as I mean, okay.
So that tells you exactly how strong the AL East is.
Yeah. I mean, even though no, it is not in my pocket. Good God.
That's not what I heard.
It's just a Glock. I'm not really excited to see you guys, I promise. Even though every team, including the last place Yankees, have a better than 500 record, I mean, in far and away, I mean, the American League East is hands down the toughest division of baseball. I don't care how you paint it.
Mhm.
I mean, it used to be, at least that, for years past, that the Baltimore Orioles were kind of the punching bags of the division. The Baltimore Orioles are 57-36. Okay. They are 19 games above 500. Let that sink in for a minute. The Baltimore Orioles are 19 games above 500.
Right.
They've got a 613 winning percentage. They're 5.5 games behind Tampa Bay. Now, we're talking about like division leaders. We've got Tampa Bay, got Texas in the Central. In the Central, in the West, and then we've got Minnesota in the Central Division. They're the only team in their division, I think, that has got a better than 500 record, and they're at 505. They're 48-47.
They're 2 games behind the Yankees.
Yeah, as far as winning percentage goes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
they're leading their division, and they're two games behind the last place in the AL East.
Right, but here's what I see happening. Right, we're going to get to the playoffs, and the lowest seed division leaders got to play the highest seed wild card team. Right, whoever gets the Minnesota Twins is going to advance.
Yeah, that's basically a bye week.
Almost. Otherwise, unless of course somehow we have some kind of solar flare where the Bizarro universe opens up right there on in Target Field where the Twins play, and the Twins just absolutely dominate by like 20 runs a night, kind of a deal.
Yeah.
And then their offense pulls LeBron and pulls up with a hamstring cramp or a calf cramp, playing at Rogers Center up in Toronto where the roof is closed and it's air conditioned.
They'll call up Airbud from the minors.
Right. But okay, so here's the wild card race right now as it stands. In the American League, Baltimore, they are the number 1 seeded. They've got a 5.5 game lead over Toronto. Then you've got Houston at 52-42. 10 games above 500. And they are the last seeded wild card team in the American League. A game and a half behind them is the Boston Red Sox. Now, in a universe where the Red Sox manage to outplay everybody, they go on this huge tear, and they finish the second half of the season, let's just say 10 games above 500 for the second half of the season. Okay. They're still going to have to leapfrog. What they'll in essence have to do is they'll have to leapfrog either Baltimore or Toronto in the divisional standings to qualify for a wild card spot. The American League playoff format, even at this point, is so incredibly tight. The Yankees are struggling in there, 2.5 games behind, are out from the last from behind Houston for the last wild card spot. The Seattle Mariners are 4.5 games out from a wild card berth. The LA Angels are 5.5. You got the Cleveland Guardians. All right, so just to kind of show you, it would be feasible to have 3 American League East teams qualify for all 3 American League wildcard spots. But in all likelihood, I think Texas can keep up this pace. I don't think they can keep it up at this torrent that they've got going.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to come down to like the last couple of like regular season meetings.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to show. They're starting to slow down for sure.
Yeah. Now, I mean, they went out and got themselves a Aroldis Chapman, and he's out there pumping 103 mile an hour fastballs.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I'm not showing any pessimism by any means.
Yeah,
I
no.
mean, there's no way that you can keep up
If
that.
the Rangers are going to make any kind of noise in the postseason, this is going to have to be their year to do it.
Yes.
Because you can't go for as long as they have during the regular season leading their division and expect failure to be tolerated amongst their fan base or even the front office.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You know, call it what you- I mean, some of the worst fan bases, some of the most the best and the worst, I mean, worst at the same time fan bases in baseball belong to Boston and New York.
Mhm.
Okay. And I say that as a Boston fan. I mean, even when the team is winning, Red Sox fans pages are just lit up with firing the GM, firing the manager,
Yeah.
have a fire sale and break everything down and start from scratch. You know, I mean, it's one of those feast or famine kind of a situations. And New York Yankees fans and the New York media are even worse.
Yeah.
But as far as the Texas Rangers fan base is concerned, it hasn't really gotten rabid or fervent since, you know, I mean, it's been it's been tolerable until you hit
Honestly,
2010 and
yeah.
then 2011. Okay. But since they made their back-to-back World Series failures, I'm sorry, losses, appearances, let's just be
What they
more
were.
optimistic there.
That's what they were.
I don't, Colin. I'm recording right now. All right. This is live. It's not going to get edited out. So I will text you as soon as it is your turn to come in here. But I've already explained. I have no idea where it might be right now. Okay. Life.
Yeah.
That okay. But as far as the Rangers fan base is concerned, I mean, you've got all these high price contracts, all these big names. You know, I mean, you go out and you sign Corey Seager to this incredibly huge, retarded deal. You've got Nathan Eovaldi. Who was it? Noah Syndergaard? Is that who y'all got? Or no? Yeah, right?
I think so.
I can't remember. Anyway, big picture, he was on your starting rotation, and he's out now. You go and you pick up Aroldis Chapman. Yeah, it's a debatable pickup. I mean, because when Chapman's on. When he's off, he's throwing 104, 105, and he's getting taken yards. So, you know, it's all about how much rotation and movement he's got on his pitches. But, I mean, I would say that they kind of took a modified Moneyball approach to it. They spent a lot of money on these other guys to shore up some kind of like generational contract talent.
Mhm.
I'm not going to say generational talent because it's just not. I mean, what I would be interested to see is if the Rangers are going to make any kind of play for any kind of proposed Shohei Ohtani trade. Because there's been rumors out there that the Angels are shopping around the idea of trading Shohei Ohtani. And as far as rumor mill is concerned, I mean, that is in high gear because there was even a rumor that Shohei Ohtani has come out and said he's done everything that he thinks he can accomplish in MLB and he wants to go back to play in Japan.
I could see that.
But
there's actually another sports news that's kind of caught my eye for Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball takes over Diamondbacks broadcasting after the Diamond Sports Group bankruptcy ruling.
Yeah, I mean, with the like the Bally Sports, which took over the broadcasting duties for a lot of major league teams this year or last year.
Yeah.
They were
It's like $8.5 billion in debt.
Yeah, I mean, and they were refusing to pay their these teams that they had signed contracts with for broadcasting money for broadcasting revenue, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah, there's a Diamond Sports deal with Diamondbacks was reportedly 20-year agreement worth $1.5 billion per ESPN.
yeah. And here's my thing, you know, this needs to be a wake up call, and I know there are a lot of baseball fans that are on board with this, but MLB needs to revamp their premium package. Okay,
Well, they kind of, from what I'm reading on this, they kind of did. They said it would pay teams. No, not that. It was
well, here's the thing.
a
The premium
broadcast.
package now, if you've got a nationally televised game, okay, so you got a nationally televised game like ESPN, Fox, something like that. They black the game out.
Yeah,
Also, if you if you live in that team's market, you can't stream those games over MLB Premium. You can't,
yeah.
which sucks because I mean it's based on your geographic location at the time, right? They ping your IP address and that's how they figure it out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could hide behind a VPN, but VPNs anymore nowadays are just, I mean, they're more of a hassle than anything else, especially with the way that a lot of applications are written, like Netflix and things like that. But if you live or if you're geographically located in that team's market, you can't watch those games on MLB Premium. Now, as a Red Sox fan, I get to watch a majority of the games all year, with the exception of when they're playing Houston, because obviously Houston has a really great TV deal with actually I think it is Bally Sports down here too. But but what I think needs to happen is they need to cancel out. I mean, they need to get rid of these blackout restrictions. And because there's a lot of people, like, we turned off our cable and we just have internet only here at the house.
I
And
did
it
that.
saves us a ton of money. Like my cable bill went down from like $350 to $125 every month.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
and
But that's the trend almost nationwide. Like that's becoming the norm now.
yeah,
I
turn
did
away
that
satellite
like
cable and all
in like 2006. I stopped getting like any kind of TV station.
well, and the only reason why I had cable to begin with was because I was watching things like baseball. I was watching NASCAR, watching the Super Bowl, the World Series. Because Fox has got a lifetime contract basically with baseball for the World Series.
Right.
They're sharing the playoff duties with TBS. They've got the All-Star game. Fox has got the first half of the NASCAR season. NBC picks up the second half of the season. Now, NBC's been pretty good because they do also own the USA Network. I've been lucky to catch NASCAR races streaming on Peacock, and so there's that. I mean, and Dale Jr. has even gone over it in his Dale Jr. download. He's talked about it. Because I mean, obviously he's got the money to do it, but he's got so many subscription services, he can't remember them all.
Yeah.
So what I would love to see Major League Baseball do is just eliminate the blackout restrictions. If you've got a game that takes place before 12 o'clock your time on Sunday, you can't watch a game. I'm just like that. That's how stupid is that?
Yeah.
So, I mean, really the people that get the most out of the MLB subscriptions are the people who live abroad or people, like I would say Alaska, but Alaska is considered part of the Seattle / Toronto market.
Really?
Yeah. You know, so I'm just like, that is so dumb. And you know, so I mean, just get rid of geographical restrictions, you know, geographical blackouts.
Right.
Just get rid of them. And I mean, you can leave your premium package priced at like $130, $140 a year. Which, when you think about it, if you're just watching your team, you're watching 162 games for $130. I mean, still, that's dude, you can't beat that with a stick.
Right.
You know, I get it for free every year because I have T-Mobile as my cell carrier. Okay. Which I use and abuse the hell out of that benefit. I really do. But I pay for the MLB at Bat app, which is $20 every year. But I get to there's no blackout restrictions on those radio broadcasts, so I can listen to home and away broadcasts for every game that's being played on any given day. And as far as like spring training is concerned, I can listen to almost every spring training game out there as it's happening live through that app on my phone.
Right.
And I love it. I mean, to me, it's worth the $20 every year.
Yeah.
For that app alone. The premium package, I think it's still worth it, but I think that the value could be increased by eliminating the blackout restrictions, make these games more available to people, and you can, you know, and what you could even probably do at some point as Major League Baseball is go into a partnership with the broadcasters. You know, these networks that broadcast the games, whether they're the local affiliates or whatever they might be, whether it be Fox, whether it be ESPN or you know, whatever. If it's Apple, you know, I know that some games have popped up on Apple TV, right?
Yeah. A lot of like even
They can go into an agreement with these. Yeah, they can go into an agreement with these networks or these platforms and say, okay, if we give you guys, the teams get to decide who they want to broadcast their local games, right? And you know, you could still have your local broadcasts or whatever. You can watch them on TV or whatnot. But if for the people like us who don't have cable because it's either through necessity or it's because of choice, but we still have the streaming package that MLB offers, the teams can still generate revenue. The networks that put together the broadcast for those games can still generate revenue based on our viewership. I mean, they can still figure out the ratings. I mean, because if Netflix can sit there and talk about these are the top 10 shows in the US based on review or based on ratings, right? 1, 2, 3 through all the 10, right?
yeah.
They can figure out how to divvy up revenue dollars from the internet broadcasts for every game out there, regardless of blackout or regardless of geographic positioning or market restriction or what have you. They can still figure that out, and they can still figure out a way to write checks. And I think that it would actually benefit baseball as a whole because you help the fans out. They're going to tune in. They're going to become more engaged. The only problem is right now is that Major League Baseball has an inept commissioner. And yes, I'm talking about you, Mr. Man Clown, aka Manfred. You're a hack. You have absolutely no idea as to what the hell you're doing. You get booed at every public appearance. Every time you step up to a podium, you're booed. And it's not because people want to just make noise. I mean, this isn't a situation where it's, you know, like Dale Earnhardt Sr. said, at least they're making noise. No, I mean, dude, the fan base for baseball, whether from anywhere from your hardcore lifestyle fan to your casual, maybe 1 or 2 games a year fan, or I just watched the World Series and All-Star game type fans, they are sending a message that they are not happy about what you are doing to this sport. And I'm, you know, the bigger bases, fine. They're here. They can stay. You didn't shorten the distance between any of the bases because everything's still measured from the center of the base to the center of the base. So, I mean, it's, if you're doing it in the guise of safety, fine, whatever.
What were you saying, Chris?
I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the pitch clock either.
I was gonna say no business is going to fail by making itself more accessible.
Yeah, you know, I
I
mean,
I don't understand why there's the exclusivity thing. It's, I mean, we're over it.
yeah, I mean,
Everybody's
you look
about
at the
accessibility.
airlines, airline industry back in the 50s and 60s, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was for the rich. It was for that upper or that upper middle class to upper class
Yeah.
income
Socialism.
earners. You know,
There,
it was
there's
an
still a
event.
story that
It
if
was an
you weren't wearing a suit or something like that
Yeah.
when you're going on an airplane, you're treated like a piece of shit.
yeah, like there's a dress code on our flights, or you need to go find a suit and a tie, or
Mhm.
ma'am, you need to have a dinner dress or a cocktail dress on. You can't wear pants. You know, I mean, it was an event, but because the world essentially started to get smaller and smaller as technology advanced, the airline industries realized that they were struggling and that they were in danger of going under. So what do? They drop the dress codes, they lower ticket prices, they build their fleets, and they make air travel accessible to everybody.
Mhm.
And surprise, surprise, they still go a little bit under. They
Well,
had
that's just because
have
they
to have the, like,
shit.
well, yeah, that, and they have to have premium packages. If they don't have the premium package, they don't make that much money nowadays.
There was a guy, I can't remember where he was flying out of. He bought every ticket on a Southwest airline flight just so he wouldn't have to talk to anybody.
I mean, I would do that.
He bought every seat on this flight.
That was probably cheaper than chartering a plane.
Yeah, I think it still did. But he bought every seat on this flight, and they still, instead of canceling the flight and saying, Southwest woke up and activated an entire flight crew for this dude's flight. And the pictures from these social media posts from both the flyer and the flight crew, they were epic, dude.
Dude, it
Like,
was because they had a blast. Like the
they
crew
had an
ended up having a
absolute blast. I
great
mean, it's a lot of the stewardesses were like, "Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to this flight at all."
yeah.
But then afterwards, they were like,
Well, the
"Oh,
guy ended up being like really cool. Like he ended up being a
they were
genuinely
like, yeah."
great guy.
Like they sat around and talked, they played games, they laughed.
Which, by the way, is hilarious that the entire reason he bought the whole plane out so he didn't have to talk to anybody. And then he sat there and bullshitted with the crew the whole way.
Yeah. But I mean, dude, that is one hell of a flex, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
I mean, the dude just straight up was like, opulence, I has it,
Yeah.
But
Mm.
I'm going to buy your flight for $1 billion.
$1 billion.
All right, so moving on into football news.
Was there any football news? I mean, they got
There was a couple of throwback uniforms.
I don't know, David. Was there any football news?
Oh yeah, that's right, David.
Was there
tried to
any
put things
football
out of
match
order.
news today?
Yeah, was there any football match news?
Fuck you
No.
guys. Just
Okay.
fuck.
The Vikings are going to debut a classic uniform. It's a throwback uniform. They're going to do it week 1 during their versus the Bucks. The Browns are going to wear an alternate white helmet for 3 games this coming season. That's about it.
Well, here's another football match news. I'm just going to keep on going with it. I'm going to keep that rolling. Well, that's the how I'm going to talk
We're
about
not-
this.
I
You're
like
going to
how
keep
you're
going with
trying
it.
to-
We're
Yeah.
going to steal your thunder. We are going to totally take away all of your thunder, David. Because
You're
instead of
over here-
acknowledging it as a match, we're just not
Anyway.
going to say anything to you.
Yeah.
Franchise.
Like how he's trying to own it now,
and-
like it was his decision. No, we're not going to let it die.
Friend, fucking hell. Friend, I can't stop doing this fucking laughing. Hold on. Franchise tag deadline yields no details. what's next for disgruntled running backs, Cowboys, Giants, and Raiders? The deadline for franchise has players to sign a long-term deal ahead of 2023 season has come and gone, and none of the three running backs who were tagged, Barkley, Jacobs, and Poland, reached an agreement of a multi-year pack. Of the three, only Poland has signed a $10.09 million tender. He is the at the moment the only one of the three who has expected to report at the time to training camp. The rest of them coming to the breakdown. So there you go. NFL news.
Yeah, hold on. I saw something earlier. Trying to see where if I can find it here.
Now,
Oh yeah, Dak Prescott, the beleaguered Cowboys quarterback. He came out, said that he's confident that he will not repeat the season from last year with double-digit interceptions. He said, "quote I know who I am."
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. And the Tennessee Titans,
I know who you are
the Tennessee
too.
Titans have signed wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins to a 2-year, $26 million deal. Now, it is widely believed that the Tennessee Titans is the place where great wide receivers go to die.
No,
So
that's not.
we shall see if that moniker holds up in court.
But going on Dax Prescott, last season he only played like half of it, right? Because he had broke his like finger. Or was that
No,
last?
he tore a ligament in his throwing hand.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, he was out most of the game.
Yeah, week 1 versus the Bucks, he tore a ligament in his throwing hand. He had surgery on it, and I think he was only out for like
He was out for like 15 games or so.
that's
He
the entire season.
He was not the entire season, David.
Jackass.
Oh yeah.
He was
He
out
was
for
out
like
like
6
He was
weeks.
out. He was out
I
for like
was-
several months.
He was out, I think, for 5 games.
Yeah.
Like 5 or 6 weeks. That's
Yeah.
that's only 5 weeks, David. That's a
So he
month.
was out 5 matches.
He missed 5 matches, yes.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So NASCAR had yet another rain-delayed weekend in New Hampshire, and it just seems kind of it seems like a magic formula for the eventual winner on Monday, Martin Truex Jr. Anytime the last three races that have been ran on Monday because of a rain delay, Martin Truex Jr. has managed to find victory lane.
That is weird.
I mean, you can almost, if you listen real closely, hear the black helicopter circling overhead because much like NASCAR supposedly, quote unquote, rigged all the restrictor plate races back in the day for Dale Earnhardt Jr. because of his dad. There was somebody out there on, I think it was one of the NASCAR subreddits that was saying like Monday's Martin Truex Jr. Day, like this is supposedly Martin Truex Jr.'s last season before he decides to retire, and NASCAR is wanting him to go out on top, kind of a deal, or at least make sure that he makes the playoffs. And I'm just kind of like, okay.
Don't you think they'd find a better way of doing it if they were going to rig it to make sure that he's in? They would find a better way to do it than
Aren't all sports
only the rain delay game races to have him go.
aren't all sports scripted anyways? I thought that was like the MO.
No, but there's the strike going on right now, so nobody's there to write.
Oh yeah, totally forgot. Fuck. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
through everything, all the matches are all messed up now.
Oh, okay. All right. I understand they had to get like non-union writers now. They don't know really what they're doing.
yeah, but you see the problem with non-union writers is that if we wanted any of their scab opinions, or their lip, we just simply pull it off of our zippers. I mean, that's.
I support scabs. I'm on public. blasting out to the world, I am pro scab. Go scabs all the way. Absolutely. I will only consume scab created content now.
I mean, that's how the world was blessed with the presence of Jimmy Falco.
God damn it. Fuck.
Keanu Reeves came on the screen. He goes, I know how to play football. And you get Gene Hackman reprising his role as Lex Luthor going, show me.
I actually watched that movie here recently.
What are you? Not skinny. Why are you?
Yeah. That was actually a good movie.
It
That's
was.
a great movie. Are you kidding me?
It's like, fuck those cops. I was like, what would you do before you did this? I was a cop.
John Favreau. Remember what I said about Red? Forget it.
Yeah.
You know what movie I miss, and it was even underrated back in the day. Necessary Roughness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Scott
mean,
Bakula.
Bakula aside, dude, Kathy Ireland as the kicker,
Oh yeah.
bro.
God.
Whatever happened to Kathy Ireland?
I
Don't
mean,
answer
she's
that question.
retired. She just retired. She's still hot.
Oh, hell yeah. She's smoking. Are you kidding me?
I
She's
mean,
like
like
60
she
or
was
70
the
and she's still
reason I
smoking.
started paying attention to the swimsuit issue back in the day when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. She introduced a lot of us to puberty back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could hear Lita Ford in the background singing "I Touch Myself." It was great. Those were the days. You know, or as so one of the guys I was in the army with, he was not shy about beating off, right? Like at all. He would announce it.
Everybody has that one guy.
I'm going to the latrine, I'm gonna whack it, right? And one dude's like, dude, how do you whack it so much? And he goes, dude, you don't choke it. It's the thumb roll, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's all about rolling the massage and the thumb roll.
That's it. Everybody has. We had a guy, and I'm going to blast his name out here just because I can. Eric Rump. We used to call him Ass. He actually had a fucking John Holmes penis pump and was proud of that thing. And every time we had a room inspection, his room would be immaculate, and he would have that sitting on his pillow. So as soon as the sergeant would walk in, he would walk in and just see his fucking penis pump on his pillow, and he would just look at him and then walk out. I don't think he ever got inspected.
We had a
It
guy,
was brilliant, really.
we had a guy kind of like that, named Jonathan English. Everybody called him E. He was married and everything like that. But he comes back from the field one day, and the only thing left in his apartment was some of his clothes,
Oh,
a stack of porn mags, and a bottle of Jack Daniels.
I mean,
His wife up and just disappeared like a popcorn fart, right? So he moves into the barracks, he loses all of his hair, and he instantly becomes that curmudgeon porn porter.
that knows way too much about it.
Dude, yeah, I mean, we were talking like he went from being calm, cool, reserved to calm, cool, and secluded, right? He was like Smeagol with his porn. He's like, yeah, right. You know, you walk into the barracks, and the way that they used to be situated is you walk in and you got the common area right in the middle, and then you got a room on each side of each corner of the quad, right?
Yeah.
You walk in and you look left. That was his room. The door to his room would be open, and so the door to his latrine, right? And there he's sitting there, jerking his dick on the toilet with the door wide open. And then you just look at him, you're like, bro. He's like, dude, take a picture. What? I mean, this guy,
basic too.
he was so E4 for life that he got QMP'd because he just refused to be promoted. Like he did not want any part of being an NCO. And so he had been an E4 for so long that they were like, dude, you got to get out, promote or get out. So he's like, fuck it, I'll get out. And then he found out, like, I think 6 months after he got out, that the Army had actually expanded the QMP requirements.
No,
He went back in as an E4.
dude.
And where did the Army send him? Alaska.
Let me guess, Fairbanks.
I mean, that dude was Sham Shield for life, bro.
Oh, that's
Like
awesome.
he was the godfather of the E4 mafia.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely love that guy. I mean, like, you know, what I just thought was hilarious was the fact that we had he these brand new privates constantly coming into the company, and he had one guy, literally his last name was pronounced Hoot, Hout, right? Dude
Yeah.
was an absolute Godzilla fanboy.
Yeah.
To the point where he had his wall locker was occupied with, as well as different corners of the room were occupied with Godzilla replicas of different heights.
Of different what?
Heights.
Oh,
Sizes,
yeah. Sizes.
right? This guy had a full-on 1960s era Japanese action figure of Mecha Godzilla. This thing was chromed out. And if I remember correctly, it stood like 2 feet tall.
What?
You know,
Does that count as bestiality?
No.
I mean, you think that would
That'd be
take
more
away
like
from new
hentai.
in box value, right?
It'd be more like hentai.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if he was using the tail.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Uncle
That
Ray.
would be a furry.
Dude,
Like that's not. It's not a furry. I mean, at least he's not a furry because reptile.
He's a scaly.
Yeah.
Is that better or worse?
Yeah.
I
I don't know.
I mean, if that's even a thing, it is now. Because I mean, you heard it here first, people.
Bro,
If you're into reptiles, you're a scaly.
you've heard Rule 34. If it's out there, I promise you it's a thing.
Right.
I promise you, somebody somewhere, it's a thing.
Yes. So let me see here. We are currently.
But no, I researched Catherine Ireland. Yeah, she owns her own clothing line, and she's worth like $500 million.
Wow.
I didn't know she was 60 though.
I could use a sugar mama.
So as of right now, as of today, we are 10 weeks out from Angry Me going to the races.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Dude, you have no idea how bad. So I told him at work that I was going. And one of my coworkers was like, "Hey, are you guys going to the East Coast?" I was like, "No, we're going to Texas Motor Speedway." He's like, "Oh, well, that's too bad because I know people out there that could have hooked you up." I was like, "Fuck." I go, "Do you know anybody at Texas Motor Speedway?" No. Thanks. That's
Keep floating it out there, man. I mean, dude, you're sticking enough feelers and probes out there.
I'm just,
Because I'm telling you, man. I mean,
talking to.
even if we have to sit behind pit wall and Noah Gregson's pit stall just for the sheer purpose of being there because of Black Rifle Coffee,
You know how badass I would be?
I'm good with that.
I would lose my shit. Are you kidding me?
I mean, I hung out with
I would sit in Ross Chastain's
crew one
I
weekend.
would even sit with Ross Chastain. That's how awesome it would be.
You know what? I'll give you this much.
I'd hate myself later, but
if it was Ross Chastain, yeah, okay. But if you sat there and told me that I could sit in the pits, even sit in the pit box and have an all access pass as long as I did it with Joey Logano, I'd tell you to go fuck yourself.
still not worth it, huh?
Nope. Because here's the deal. I would get in, but I would wander up and down pit road. And if somebody called me out on it, I'd be like, here's my pass. I'm leaving.
How about this? You get a sit. You have to sit in Joey Logano's pit box, but you get a headset, and you can yell. It's a one-way headset, and you can yell at him the whole way around.
You're gonna miss this turn, jackass.
Turn left, jackass. Slow down, jackass.
Could you imagine he does that?
Were you too good for your pit stall? Go home.
Wreck on the rail.
Could you imagine he does that and he causes like almost a genocidal event with all the racers?
He gets so pissed off he actually wins.
It was like,
It'd be like,
wow, he's driving aggressively today.
he'd turn like a shit lap or something, or he's like a lap down or something, and be like, he's like, why don't you let your hair club for men plugs get behind the wheel? They drive faster than you are.
Oh my god.
oh man.
Oh, that's the VIP fan experience that I want to do. Just sit there and just trash talk whole fucking race.
See, 'cause if we got to go into Noah Gregson's pit, odds are that at the very least we may get to bump into Richard Petty or Jimmy Johnson.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
2 7-time NASCAR Cup champions.
Nice.
Right?
That would be right up there with.
That's almost as good as meeting Stan Lee.
I was gonna say it's right up there with meeting Billy Gibbons for me.
Yeah, I mean, dude. Praise hail, raise Dale, or praise Dale, raise hell. But the only thing that would be better than that would be meeting Dale Earnhardt himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, boy. Anyways, moving on. All right. Let
I
me
can help you out with that with a plastic bag and a couple of ropes.
He's not wrong.
Too soon. Going totally off topic. Have you seen all the fucking Kurt Cobain stuff I've been sending people?
the Kurt Cobain POV. Yeah.
Yeah. The one with
One with a burger.
the what
You
was
see
it?
somebody actually customized a Kurt Cobain Pop Funko.
Yes.
Oh God,
You
no.
see the spinal column sticking out and everything from the chin up and down.
Yes.
I was like, bro, I'm
Yeah,
not even going to
yeah,
dignify
yeah.
that with a response. I'm like, I'm not even going to mad react that. I mean, like,
You saw the Guitar Hero, the Nirvana edition Guitar Hero.
Isn't it just
It was just a shotgun.
damn. Oh.
that doesn't get old? I mean,
Just like
just like Kurt Cobain.
I can dig that, man. Hey, I appreciate that joke.
One way to get ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess let's get Colin in here. to his
Yeah,
joke.
I'm working on that here.
Oh God.
Oh boy. Good Lord.
We have pretty much already set the stage for that.
Yeah. Yeah, we have.
Yeah. I I keep telling everybody, and they don't believe me. I'm like, don't worry about buying a ticket for the bus because I'm driving.
Yeah.
Make sure you're on it when we get ready to go.
Well, someone asked me how dark my humor was, and I told him, it's like, well, fat chicks keep on trying to date it. So
What?
fat white chicks try to date it. My humor. Because it's
So
so
what you're
dark.
trying to say is that your humor is so dark that it dates heavyset white girls around tax time?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, he's supposedly on his way, guys. Tell him. Be ready to go. Of course, what's he doing? He's got his like any 14-year-old red-blooded American.
He's got his hand in his pants.
It's the middle of the day and he's playing video games.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, forgot. Back in my day, that's what it was.
No, that's what we called it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because you spend a lot of your time choking the.
Playing with a joystick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Okay. You're gonna get a chair. Come on, bud. Figure it out. Somebody get this dude a puppers. Like seriously.
Fucking embarrassing.
Fucking embarrassing. What?
Spare parts, aren't you, bud?
You are so 10 ply. Oh my god. It's Letterkenny. Good God. Okay. So I'm gonna give you the microphone here in just a minute. Okay. You have to speak into the microphone because this is now very directional. It's a brand new microphone, right? Okay. You're gonna have to wear the headphones. So I actually may even get up and make you sit in this chair. Okay.
Ooh, we get the full experience.
Yeah, you get full frontal calling this week. So
Oh, Yahtzee.
I don't know. Wait a minute, David. Are you allowed to do that by stipulation of your release?
Yeah, I'm fine.
He just can't look directly. He's got to look off to the side.
Oh, okay.
No,
All right.
I'm acquitted. What? Too soon?
It never gets old.
He is having way too much fun with that shit.
Yeah, it's your fault.
Yeah, I know. I wanted him to be part of the cool group, and now he is. He's like really excited and pressing buttons.
Okay. This week, Joke Time with Colin is brought to you by our lovely and generous sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She does wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certifications of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, I-9 verifications. She's also certified with the National Notary Association. She's bonded and E&O insured. She's on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Hit her up. She's remote online notary commissioned, and she is going to start offering those online notarizations. You can be anywhere in the country as long as she is safe within the confines of the Great Republic or the current state of Texas. She can do this for you. So again, Mobile Notary Mindy, hit her up on all the social media platforms. Now, without further ado, I got to do your intro. Calm your tits. All right. All right. Akuna your tatas.
Temper thy
Press
booze.
your reps. Okay. All right. Breaks there, Thanos. Okay. Hailing from the darkest, deepest reaches of my neither regions, my genetic code, striding in upon a valiant white steed, like a Ronin rising from the ashes of a chaotic feudal Japan battlefield. He is here on a mission without definition. He thrives on carnage and the ability to make you question your morality. I present to you the musings, however inappropriate they may be or not be, the unscreened jokes of my child, the fruit of my loins. I give you, ladies and gentlemen, angry faithful of all ages, Joke Time with Colin. No, because all the sound goes through the headphones now as opposed to the speakers. There you go. Look at that. All right, Chinese fire drill, everybody. Put the headphones on, guy.
There he is.
There you go. You don't have to lean in. There you go.
How do you cure a ginger? Chemotherapy.
Again, I didn't screen any of these.
Why is the don't walk light red? Tell gingers when to walk.
No, let me see it.
Is that it?
What train are gingers not allowed to ride? The Soul Train.
God damn.
Your older brother is going to feel so attacked. Yeah, he is. Oh, very. Yeah.
That just makes these jokes way better. What do you call it when a ginger gets a call on a Saturday night? A wrong number.
Oh.
Damn, that's me.
What did gingers miss most at a party? The invitation.
Okay. All right. Here we go, guys. All right. Go for it.
Why can't British people play chess? Because they don't have a queen.
Oh, damn. Oh, that's awesome.
What did the woman?
What
Uh,
you just, sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
That was wrong.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Why did
Found
the
it.
woman? What did the woman with no hands get for Christmas? She doesn't know. She hasn't opened it yet.
I knew that was coming. It's-
Is that it?
Yes.
What you got?
That's all I have.
Okay. All right. Any nerd stuff?
I don't really got
Okay.
It's like playing hot potato with a quadriplegic.
Oh shit! Oh
Unlike the former Queen of England, there he goes, without all the pomp and circumstance, without the drama of an expelled ginger from the family. My genetic code has left the room, has left our lives, it has left you feeling empty inside, much like David after a night at the arcade in the glory hole. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, angry faithful, you have been privy, you have been privileged, you have been blessed with the inappropriate musings of my genetic code. This was Joke Time with Colin.
While we were waiting for Collins, I was looking at this article from Google because they stopped doing drag shows up at military air shows or some shit like that because they were doing it for a while, and then now they're saying women, and I sent you like the video of what these women look like, and they're attractive. They're in like red, white, and blue bikinis. There's like, how can we have this now and not drag? I'm like, seriously? This is
it's the well. If I can't have my thing, you can't have your thing.
yeah, exactly.
That's all that is.
Yeah,
So
it's like
in,
how can we have,
the big. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's like how can we have these women just showing their stuff like this when we can't have men do it too? I was like, because they're not fucking women. Nobody gives a shit. You sexually, it's more or less is like, I can't believe we're sexualizing women. Shit, we've been fucking doing it for fucking years.
Well, what's funny is the fact is that you get a lot of women that are, that they I'm a victim of the matriarchy and blah blah blah.
But as soon as you have tickets for Magic Mike, they're go.
No, that's not where I was going with it. Good, valid point, but that's not where I was going with it. You get a lot of people that are like, he's just misogynistic and blah 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 blah, or or they're a victim of the patriarchy, stuff like that. A lot of these feigned indignation voices, or voices of feigned indignation, rather, they have OnlyFans pages.
Yep.
So aren't they really kind of sexualizing themselves?
That's empowering. It's not sexualizing. It's
Yeah,
Right.
You're
Yeah,
doing
it's
it wrong.
empowering. It's empowering. Yes, it is empowering your bank account to charge somebody $200 to stare at your ass and your asshole. Yeah.
And it's also the same women that scream out. It's like, I don't need a man. I make my own money, but I'm so lonely. I need to be held.
I don't need a man, but it's the men who pay $300-$400 for a pair of your panties that you've worn for 20 minutes. I totally get that. Awesome. Yeah. So in nerd news, thousands of, and this is coming from the verge.com, thousands of Call of Duty fans are playing classic Xbox 360 titles thanks to a server fix. More than 100,000 players are online and playing the original Call of Duty Black Ops Xbox 360 game. They're also playing Modern Warfare 2 and like I said, the aforementioned Black Ops. They fixed the servers to where there's no cheaters, there's no hackers on the Xbox servers now. Period.
That'll last a week.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, apparently Microsoft has been kind of ramping this up behind the scenes while they were waiting on the Activision merger to get approved.
Yeah.
There are thousands of Xbox 360s being pulled out of closets and out of boxes that have been long forgotten about, being plugged in and fired up.
Yeah, I've seen a TikTok to where one of the
like the ant colony.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one too. I was like, yes. But I mean, there's that doesn't mean that thousands of Xbox 360 controllers are suddenly being powered on. Oh, yeah, it does. But
yeah, it does.
It's all possible thanks to Microsoft's backward compatibility support on Xbox, allowing Xbox One and Series S/Series X owners to play these classic Call of Duty games. All you have to do is put in your old disc or even install a digital copy of the game, and all your 360 progress from more than a decade ago will have been preserved, including your Call of Duty Prestige ranks.
Oh, that's big news.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says it's not all smooth sailing, though, despite the thousands of people returning to play these Call of Duty games. Game Rant points out that there are some issues with input latency on the Series S and X emulating these older games. With Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Call of Duty maker Activision Blizzard at its final stages, which it's a done deal because the last roadblock to that whole merger was Sony. Because Sony was like, well, you're going to exclude it from our platform and we're going to lose thousands of dollars. No, Sony and Microsoft entered into what was called a, quote, binding agreement that Call of Duty was not going to be made an Xbox exclusive.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody that that didn't have their head shoved so far up Sony's butt that they could smell the degrading or the deteriorating cesium left over from Nagasaki and Hiroshima, knew that Microsoft was not going to. What?
Is that a Oppenheimer movie reference?
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer reference?
Yeah, I can't fucking talk. You know this. We all know this. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, by the way, I really want to see that because
It's really good.
there's quote unquote no CGI in that movie.
Oh yeah. They set up
What they said supposedly.
Is that he set off a real nuke.
It was cheaper.
Yeah. I'm like, oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah.
But it's possible that we'll see these input latencies issues fixed soon. After all, it can't be pure coincidence that these COD games are now suddenly fixed just as Microsoft gets ready to put Activision games on its Xbox Game Pass service. So, yeah. So the fact that the servers had magically been repaired as soon as Microsoft said, yeah, this is a done deal, Microsoft has been behind the scenes working on it because apparently Activision couldn't figure it out, but Microsoft did.
It means that they've been sitting there the whole time, even before it was announced, just like, oh, we know how to fix it.
Right.
You know, it's some guy named Bob that they phone called and all he had to do is like flip a fucking switch.
Like, have you tried plugging it in?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I had to do that.
Here.
He's like, give me a paper clip, some WD for me.
Now, there is some kind of grumblings out of the UK regulators. They're fighting it with the EU. The whole deal is like $68.7 billion.
Right.
You know, I mean, not only are you getting the COD franchise, you're also getting StarCraft. You're also getting World of Warcraft.
That's Blizzard, though.
Well, Activision is owned, or is Blizzard's owned.
Yeah. Bought Activision out.
Yeah. But yeah. So I'm just like, boy, you know, it's funny because I'm like, you know, I'm trying to shop around. I'm trying to look to see if you know, I can find a reasonably priced, even a used, or just find somebody on like a Facebook marketplace that's, you know, an actual human that's not trying to scam anybody. I'm trying to see if I can score myself a PS5, just simply because of the fact that I do want to play the new Spider-Man. I do want to play Final Fantasy 16 when it finally comes out.
How are you having a hard problem finding a Xbox? A PS5 still?
No, dude, I don't want to pay it the full 500 for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
dude, when you do get it,
when I said reasonably priced used one, that's not a part of a scam.
Ghost of Tsushima, when you do.
Oh yeah,
that is a must.
Well, I've got Ghost of Tsushima on the PS4.
Oh, gotcha.
And I've been playing because I've got a PS4 Pro.
Oh, okay.
So I have played that game, dude.
Trust me,
it's one of my favorites.
That is the Assassin's Creed that everybody has been wanting.
Yeah.
I would love to see a proper Assassin's Creed game set in feudal Japan.
You know, I've been talking about a remake of Black Flag.
Really?
Yeah. No.
Remake.
That's just not talk. That's an actual thing that's happening.
That's been confirmed.
Yeah, they are remastering. They're remastering, remapping, retexturing everything. It's going to be basically a next gen version of Black Flag. And we're not talking about, okay, we've got the base structure here. Let's just update the graphics. Let's just pump up the resolution and release it and charge full price for it. No, they are redoing the entire game.
Nice.
Dude, that's going to be amazing.
You know, I mean, what I find cool, like especially on
the ship to ship combat was fucking awesome.
Oh, it was amazing. Are you kidding me?
Right. Well, like when I got my Series X, I mean, I've been complete transparency. The first game that I fired up on it was MLB The Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things that I absolutely loved was, I mean, the biggest difference, in addition to just the fluidness of the interlacing and the way that the graphics just kind of flew, right? Or flowed. Anyways, real-time reflections on the batting helmets.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I was digging through some boxes this weekend, and I found my original 360 copy of Red Dead Redemption. I was like, huh, I haven't played this in a hot minute. So I installed it on my Series X. And before I could even get it to install, I get the notification that I need to update the game to be playable on my console. So I got a free upgrade on my 360 disc, free digital upgrade, but because I've got the physical copy of Red Dead. So,
Yeah.
But dude, a damn, right? Like
Nice.
you can see reflections in the rain puddles. You can see streams of sunlight breaking through the clouds.
That is
Like the
awesome.
texturing on it looks amazing. Like, and I've seen it on the Xbox One. I've seen it on the PS4. But I'm like, bro, this game looks good. I mean, I know it's just a resolution bump, but bro, that looks so good. And it made the game kind of like really more fun to play. I mean, you remember Red Dead? I mean, dude, it was fun. It was a fun game to play.
Oh, absolutely. It's
You
still
know,
fun to
because I pulled out my copy of GTA 5 because I was like, you know what, I'll just reinstall that and play it. But then I was like, oh crap, what is this? You see that Dayglow green 360 case, and I'm like, oh, what game is here? So I pulled it out of the box, and I was like, oh, God. And when I did the upgrade to play it on the Series X, it gave me Undead Nightmare for free.
I never did actually play that all the way through.
I didn't either. I mean, I didn't even play it because I'm like, dude, the whole zombie genre to me is just so overdone.
Yeah.
Like, Colin has been watching he's been vegging out on It's Always Sunny and The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I couldn't even get all the way through the first season of Walking Dead. I was just like, so I can't. It bored the dog shit out of me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ugh. So I'm, like the last zombie really kind of anything that I played with any kind of like consistency as far as like excitement level was concerned was Left 4 Dead. Because it had an amazing co-op on it.
I did Days Gone.
I did find that one. I found a used copy of it for PS4. I just hadn't gotten around to installing it yet.
It takes time to get into it, but there is a good mix of human and zombie combat in there.
Okay.
There's some stealth elements. There's some crafting. There's, the whole thing around, keeping your bike.
Wasn't there like you could build a secret base at one point in time in there to where
Days Gone?
Yeah. What was that? Was that something else? Because there was something to where you could build a base.
Mm-hmm.
And someone had built a base like underwater and made like they used like a couple of fucking the truck cargo ships. Cargo containers.
Oh.
No.
Here's a fun little thing. So my kids brought down a couple months ago.
Talking about Dead Island?
I might be.
Yeah, I think that is Dead
Or
Island.
Dying Light. I'll bet you it's one of those
My
two.
kids brought down my old Wii that I had, and somehow it survived the divorce. So I'm like, all right, cool. My my stepson, my oldest stepson, he hacked it for me because the Nintendo Wii store, the Wii store, is
Mhm.
not supported anymore. Right? You can't buy anything digitally for the Wii.
Right.
So he flashed the firmware. He put the homebrew channel on there. Dude, we got Super Nintendo games. We've got he's even got a PlayStation emulator on there. So as long as he's got an SD card with enough space, like I told him, I was like, dude, we're gonna get a bigger SD card. And what I want is I want all of the GameCube and Wii Mario titles, all the GameCube and Wii Zelda titles for sure. Maybe do like the Metroid titles, but then like PlayStation, definitely want to get some like Final Fantasy action going on there.
Man,
Yeah.
I told you I bought the Final Fantasy 1 game, the pixelated one, the old pixelated game.
For the NES.
Super. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun
Super
fact about
cool.
that one is our Final Fantasy 1 is Japan's Final Fantasy 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So-
what's funny about that game though is they have it set up to where you can like skip all the you can have it set up to where you can just no contacts and run faster. I finished that within a day.
There's a way to speed run Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, which I have the original cartridge for Super Nintendo.
Nice.
Right. But there's a way to speed run it. There was a guy that beat the game in like 5.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's a glitch in one like a dungeon wall.
Yeah. There's a bunch of exploits and stuff. You can get.
Oh,
Some of those speedruns are just crazy with
Yeah. But you remember the when PS3 first came out, you had that big like VCR looking thing.
Yeah.
Right? It was 60 gigs and it was backward compatible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've still got mine.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get some PS3 controllers. I'm gonna reformat it. I'm gonna clean it up and everything. Because dude, like PS3 has some great titles.
Oh yeah.
And like I'm gonna like I've got there was one that I wanted to play. I bought it when it came out, but I just never got around to playing it. Heavy Rain.
I've never heard of that one.
Fantastic game.
Heavy Rain, David, was one of these permadeath games where you go through and it was a choose your own adventure mixed with permadeath, right? So you could play as a character, but if that character died, you didn't get to play as that character anymore, like ever.
It was okay. So
And you
it was
immediately
along
switched your
lines,
point of view to one of the other characters in the story.
but it was it was intertwining. You played different characters at different points in the story, and you're trying to find the whole thing was about finding the origami killer.
Yeah.
But you can see like you'll see things like something would happen, and then as a cop you would go in there and then you would investigate what was going on there. So there were you would have different insight on things. As go It's such a great game. I don't want to give anything away, but my first playthrough, when I played through, I got the worst possible ending. Basically, the killer got away. Everybody died and the killer got away free. It was the worst, most depressing ending I have ever had in any video game ever. It was awful.
Ugh.
I still feel dirty. Like I want to go back and play through it again just so I can try to redeem myself because it was so bad.
Right.
I remember he's walking down the street. He's got his hands in his pocket. I'm like, dude, what the fuck just happened?
It's like playing the old Top Gun on the NES. Like you get lined up and everything, and you got the guy in the meatball. He's like, you're good to go. And then it goes to the cutscene and you nose in onto the fantail of the carrier.
I don't think I landed that plane one freaking
I
time.
landed it once the entire time that I played that game as a kid. I landed one time.
A kid would piss me off so much. I'd be over at my friend's house and we'd be playing. And I just end up, you know what? I'm done. I'm so done. So
right.
delicious.
You get all the way through the level, and you're like,
It gets so pissed.
and
It
it's,
was Dark
your
Souls
last
before
life,
Dark
right?
Souls.
You're like, you get through, you got one mission left, you got one life, you're on your last life. You're just like, all right, I gotta land this so I can finish the game. Because if you didn't have a game
everything,
genie,
yeah.
if you didn't have a game genie, you didn't have save points.
Oh no. And you like I had my altitude was correct. I had, your
Your
speed.
angle, your
Are you
approach
serious?
speed. Yeah, dude. There's a
Come
guy
on,
on TikTok
man.
now that's his thing. Like he does
Yes.
live streams of retro gaming.
Yes, I've
And
seen
he's
that.
got people talk shit to him all the time. They're like, dude, I bet you can't land on the carrier. And he's got a Maverick jacket and everything, dude. Like he
Every
sits there,
landing pisses me off.
he plays the Top Gun anthem while he's trying to land, And I'm
Always
just sitting,
did.
I'm like, bro. And he lands at one time. Like I've seen him land at once live.
There's one guy that keeps popping up, and I've seen him land that thing 5 times easy.
Yeah.
And no effort at all.
I tell you, okay, so the thing about NES games is that you could put in the cheat codes and it didn't affect anything because we weren't playing online and you didn't have to worry about things like achievements getting blocked, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If I remember right, let me see if I can find it. What is it? It's the
It's the only way I beat the original
Ninja
Doom
Gaiden 3.
games.
Yeah. Ninja Gaiden 3.
Dude, IDDQD on Doom, man. That was my shit.
Dude,
IDDQD, IDKFA.
man, I still remember like Nintendo Power magazine.
Oh,
I used
hell
to have a subscription to that. And because I had a subscription to that, I could pre-order back in the day because I thought it was the shit back then, right? Remember the top secret section that had like all the cheat codes and stuff?
yeah.
But on the back of them, like on the back page, you cut out the coupon and you could pre-order a copy of the original King Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball.
Yep.
I've still got my copy
Hey,
Nice.
because it came out on my birthday.
Oh wow.
And
Dude, I'll bet you
came
that's
like
worth something right
the pre-order copies. I think I've still got this card somewhere, but it came with an autographed King Griffey Jr. Super Nintendo baseball card.
nice.
Because Griffey Jr. for me was, dude, he was like that swing.
I wonder how much those cards are worth.
If I can find it, I'm gonna see if it's still in any
I'd have
kind
it
of
appraised.
decent condition. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna have it appraised. There was a game I'm trying to remember. Milton Brothers had an NES game, right? So let me see here. They had. Let me see here. I'm trying to see what they had. Oh, there, Captain Skyhawk. I was trying to remember the name of the game. You're basically in like what looked like it was supposed to be an F-14, but it looked more like an F-15 and an F-18 had a baby.
It's like super polygons and
Dude, yeah. The box art has an F-14 on it,
right.
right? But you spend the entirety of the game with the wings swept back. So
Yeah.
but like the box art had an F-14 on it, but the Nintendo advertisement that they would put in magazines to kind of hype the game up had an F-15 in the advertisement art. I'm like, the fuck? So I remember like my parents, they got mad at me because the last NES game that they truly went out of their way to buy for me was The Hunt for Red October. And it took me like 3 weeks to beat that game. Right. And my parents were so pissed because like that was an expensive game back then. Like it was a full-on $60 game back then. Right. Which I guess would be like going out and buying one of the like ultra limited edition, versions of game XYZ, kind of a deal where you spend like $200 and you get like a steel book and artwork and all kinds of DLC codes. Well, I remember Super Nintendo that month, or not Super Nintendo, Nintendo Power. Did you see that?
Mm-mm. Oh, I know he went out. Figured he needed to go use the restroom.
Yeah. I mean, you got to go boo boo. You got to go boo boo, right?
Yeah.
So, but the top secrets section, or had cheat codes, and one of them was invincibility, right? Because you could crash into.
I was just checking something. See if we could just block out Chris's thing, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that messed me up for a second. I'm like, why are we back to the microphone? I'm like, dude, don't do that. But like it zoomed in on my nostril. I'm like, do I have a hanger? What's going on there? But you could crash into the side of the canyon walls, and dude, it was horrible, right? So we went to the grocery store that day, and remember, like grocery stores used to have video rentals when they started renting out video games too,
Yeah.
and it was like $1.50 to rent the game all weekend, kind of a deal.
God, United used to have that because there was the United over by God, where was it? Was it? No.
Well, you remember with United, okay, so the new United that's going in on their Southwestern camp, right? That used to be in Albertsons back in the day.
Also
right.
used to be Kroger's.
Did it?
Yeah. It was Kroger. It was Kroger's like in the 90s, close to like 89 to 90s. It was Kroger's.
Research that because I don't ever remember a Kroger being there.
Albertsons. No, it was Albertsons.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, it used to be in Albertsons because Albertsons used to be over there where the Chick-fil-A or like where Shoe Carnival and Ross and TJ Maxx are now.
Was it Albertsons?
That used to be Albertsons back in the 90s, the mid 90s.
Yeah, because I used to work
there. And then they moved over
to
Southwest Parkway and Kemp, and then when they left, it became the Food Saver.
Yeah.
And then they got closed because rats. And then United bought the building, completely stripped it out, and opened up a new United there. But
yeah,
I swear y'all need an HEB. But anyways, I digress. So they rented Captain Skyhawk for me. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm about to tear this game up, dude. I typed in the invincibility code, dude. I know I was kicking this game's ass. Right, I was on the last level too, and instead of crashing into the side of the canyon wall like you would without the code, the plane did a barrel roll over the top of the canyon wall, but it got stuck.
And
it was no save points in this game, like no checkpoints, no save features.
So you had to do the whole game over again. Dude,
I was so mad. I was just like, fuck this. I turned it off, put it back in the rental case, and I gave it back to my parents the next day. I was like, I didn't like that game. I was just like,
there was one game. There's one game. There was one game that I had to turn the Game Genie off just so I could beat it.
Really?
Yeah. Once you got to it was something weird to where it wouldn't let me beat it if it had cheat codes in there.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah,
now, I remember there was a game. I can't remember who the publisher was. It was called Sky Fortress, and Air Fortress. Yeah, Air Fortress. Let me look it up here. Yeah, Air Fortress. Yeah, that's what it is. All right, so you're basically kind of in like this orange suit that looks like you have a tail, but you just did it. It was a really bad design suit. Anyways, so like you're having to go through all these different fortresses, right? That they're basically space stations, but they're connected, right?
Yeah.
And it was a linear kind of a side-scrolling left to right game kind of a deal, right?
Yeah.
And it was one of those you had kind of like those games where it's like 1942 where you scroll left or right kind of a deal. And
yeah.
you're shooting and you have to shoot things as they come to you. It was one of those, right? But like you had different bubbles that for power ups, so like energy, and then and B for bombs or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was one. Uh, it was one level. Actually, there was a couple levels like that where you could dismount your light ship and then you could walk into an elevator and it took you deeper down into the fortress that you were playing at the time. And dude, it just some of the level design was just so aggravating. But like at the end of it, like before, as you beat each fortress, before you could progress to the next one, you basically set off a chain reaction in the reactor, the central reactor, for each of these fortresses, right? And it would start to explode, and you would have to outrun the fire before it caught up to you.
I think I remember that game. I think
I mean, there was there was 8 fortresses. But the game also had a second mode where you can unlock 8 other fortresses, right? And dude, there was so like trying to remember who produced it. HAL Laboratory, HALLOBA. Okay, so what I did is living up in Washington at the time, obviously you got Redmond right there, which is where Nintendo headquarters is, right? Nintendo of America.
Yeah.
Dude, I would constantly be on the phone to Nintendo trying to score free crap, right? And some, we'll just call them enterprising Nintendo Power representative that I happened to get on the phone at like dark 30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I asked them specifically about this game. They're like, well, it's not a Nintendo title per se because it's HAL Laboratories. And I was like, well, how do I get a hold of them? Because I was trying to look for maps, right? Because like this game was almost next to impossible to map out, as a kid.
Yeah.
And so they were like, well, the only way that you're going to get maps is by getting to the designer maps. And I was like, okay, well, how do I get those? And so he gave me the number to HAL Laboratories. And I remember this. I called them. And dude, like I was that close to getting like cheat codes from HAL Laboratory themselves.
Yeah.
And then the guy that I was talking to, he was like, yeah, I mean, I could hook you up with these maps. I just need an address to send them to. Right. So, I mean, I gave him the address. And he was like, wait a minute, how old are you? And I remember I was like 13 or 14 at the time.
Yeah.
And he goes, so are your parents home? I was like, they're asleep. My dad's in the Navy and he hasn't gotten up for work yet. They're like, he goes, wait, what? Call back when you get your mom and dad. When your mom and dad are awake. I was like, well, wait, like, is there an extension I can get you directly? And he goes, no. And then he hung up. I was so pissed, dude. I was so fucking mad. I was like, are you kidding me? But yeah, I mean, the way that the game played out is like,
You should have just sent them. I mean, it's not like, you're sending like kitty porn or some shit like that. You're sending
yeah, I'm like, dude, just send me some designer maps, some developer maps is what they were called actually. And I'm like, come on, man. Because I like, dude, this game was the bane of my existence next to Blaster Master.
Yeah.
Bane of my existence. And the only way that I would play Blaster Master is if I had the NES Advantage, the joystick. I've still got my Advantage. It's upstairs in the storage room. Turbo buttons on it and everything still work.
God, I'm that we were talking about this like a couple of I think last year. I was talking with a friend of mine about they got rid of turbo buttons. You can't do turbo buttons anymore.
Yeah. And you had the NES Max, you had the NES Advantage. The Advantage was the one that with the actual joystick. It looked like an arcade.
Yeah, I had that one.
But Nintendo was like one of the first companies that tried to do the whole wireless route.
Yeah.
Because my parents bought one. It was Nintendo branded, developed by Nintendo of America, the whole 9 yards, right?
Yeah.
You put the IR receiver in front of the console, and you could plug in up to 4 controllers on it, right? But this thing took AA's and it ate through batteries like crazy.
Oh yeah.
And each controller port had turbo buttons on it.
Yeah.
turn the turbos on or off. Dude, yeah. My parents probably spent a small fortune in AA batteries on that thing. And
My dad got like those big. He got so pissed off. He ended up buying like the big bricks from like Sam's of batteries.
yeah.
He still does that today.
Yeah.
If I need batteries, I call him because he still buys those batteries.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, this is of course the same time when the original Game Boy came out, and
That was a battery eater too.
yeah, dude, that thing ate batteries like crazy. And then on top of that, like you get all the aftermarket peripherals with it that like lit the screen up, and then you had the magnifier. Like if you had the Game Boy that had the, you plugged in the stereo speakers to it, and you got the magnifier with the
Yeah.
light, dude, your Game Boy went from weighing like 1.5 pounds to like 6 pounds.
Did you ever get like kind of nausea when you were playing those games though?
You get the what?
I got nausea when I was playing those games.
Yeah, dude, because you're like this, and then your eyes got so bad, because you're just hunched over and you're having to like stare at this small, tiny ass little screen. And then when the GameCube came out, and it had the Game Boy player attachment that you could put on the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
that was a game changer right there. But
I had the same thing because Atari made like a handheld.
yeah, Atari made a handheld. Sega came out with the Game Gear. Right shortly, because you had the Sega Genesis, then you had the Sega CD,
Yeah.
and then the Game Gear came out about the same time. Well, it came out like 5 years after the Game Boy came out, if I'm not mistaken, because it was in color and it was in 16-bit. So I mean, it was like a, obviously you had like your Sonic games and stuff like that, and Echo the Dolphin, but
Which people still complain about that fucking game being too damn hard.
right. The thing that I remembered the most about the Game Gear was the fact that it came with a TV tuner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you plug it into the back and you could tune the TV station. You tune the stations in, and it had the antenna, because they had Joe Montana pimping it. Cause like, oh, you can watch me play football on this thing. Right.
Yeah.
Like, but, I wonder if. All right. Just gonna let him know we're fixing to land this here.
Yeah. He can scream it out. Actually, we could probably call him on the phone. He could end up.
Well, that's why I'm texting him first.
As long as he doesn't come bare ass.
Because it's taco night.
It is Tuesday, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Man, it's like, speaking of bonics, I could sub for you on your outdo. What? Outro. Dude, I haven't thought about that game, Air Fortress, in years. And now that we talked about it, dude, I can
Is
see. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hey.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Sorry, I had to step away.
Did you ever make it to the drop zone, or did he hit early?
Nope. Pilot had hit the X.
All right. Well, let's land this plane, everybody. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I'm David Dickerman. This is Angry Me, production of Nerd Sports 117. Thank you, everybody.
You screwed up. You screwed it up again, David.
Wow.
Really?
I mean, like, you were like, I'm David Dickerman, and this was like, you didn't give either one of us a chance.
Dude,
Right there. He was on a roll, man.
and y'all, okay,
Like,
go.
he was in straight fuck those guys mode. That's what he was.
He's like,
I don't know what I was thinking.
there's
Honestly,
nobody else in here.
yeah.
Who else would possibly have anything to say at this point?
I mean, I don't know, maybe the creator of the show, but I mean, who am I?
You know, what's really funny is if I just ended it right there, I hit the end button right there. as I did that. You're like,
I know
like it's like
Johnny had said,
this
I
motherfucker
feel
do
like you
that.
were reaching for it as Johnny said something.
I mean, David straight drug his gas can out to the pitching mound and decided he was going to burn the place down.
Yeah.
He's like, pull this pin, pull the safety pin, let that thing fly, and then go, oopsie.
You gotta stay here. You wait, what is it? You ain't gotta go home, but you can't stay here.
Right?
Yeah.
He straight turned on the ugly
Fuck
light.
outta here.
Like he's like,
He
man,
turned the sprinklers on and everything. Like it was
Well, I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
and I am Chris Jacka.
Thank you all
The
for
other two
As
co-hosts.
long
of the
as
show,
David allows us to be.
yeah.
right?
Thank
And
you all
you've
for
been
listening,
privy
bro.
to David's omnipotent smartitude.
Oh,
on Nerd Sports
smart.
episode
I like
117. People, don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted in the description, David, when you upload this to our platforms. Episode 117, like the great Master Chief. Okay, like
what's sad is I can end this anytime, and I just let him. Keep
Master
on.
fucking Chief, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
what's
respect
really
on his name.
Okay, John 117. Okay,
Hey, look at that. Does this sound like a phone hanging up?